Good morning, everyone. Everyone can hear me okay? Mike, are we good? Where's the...
You're good.
Good.
Yep.
Happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Father's Day. So we are here today to do a live talking about how to fix the problem. So whether it's a problem your client might be coming in having or a problem that you've experienced as a stylist, which Unite products can you use to fix common problems? So what we did was we made a list of some common problems that I've heard from clients or from my stylists in the salon, and we tallied them all up and we came up with some top ones that seem to be repeated over and over again. So I'm gonna have Mike read them to me one by one, and then we're gonna go over what I would do using Unite products. And if you are tuning in right now or tuning in later, and you have a problem that you've run into that you would like me to help fix the problem for you, I would love to help. So you can just write it in the comments or send me a DM later. I'm sure we have a solution to the problem. So let's get started. What is the number one common problem, Mike?
My hair does not hold a curl.
Okay, so how many times have we heard this? Oh, I've gone to all the hairdressers, but my hair never holds a curl. So what would you do in that situation? So what I would say is that typically they're not using the product correctly, or maybe their hair wasn't dry all the way, or maybe they're right and their hair just doesn't hold a curl. But that isn't really a solution we can live with. So we have to figure out what products we can use to make the curl actually last. So in this case, what I would do is start with the prep. So if you skip the prep step and you go straight into curling the hair and spraying hairspray on it, you don't know what products they've used at home prior to coming in. Obviously, this is mostly for like event styling when someone might come in with their hair already dry, and then you're curling on top and you're not prepping or doing any of that, you're setting yourself up to fail. So if you're lucky enough that their hair is wet and you have the opportunity to do it from wet to dry, then there's a ton of options. You can use Elevate Mousse, any blow-in set, anything like that. But for me, what I would use are these two products. So we've got the Expanda Volumizing Root Energizer and Boost Spray. So if their hair's wet, you would go in with the the Expanda Mousse, and spray it all over the root area, rub it in really good, even comb it through a bit. And then for the mids through the ends, you would spray with Boost Spray. And that's gonna create volume at the root, and then also volume and hold throughout the ends. So these are my must-to have products if a client says their hair isn't gonna hold a curl. Now, if they come in with dry hair already and you don't have the opportunity to wash it, then you would go in with the Boost Spray. So I've, as you guys know, been working backstage and working with Gary for years now. And even still, when I'm spraying this product on, he tells me use more. So you can use as much of this as you want. It's not gonna weigh the hair down, and it's just gonna change the fabric of the hair so it can really hold a curl. So what do? You spray it all over their hair and then dry it in, and then feel the hair. If it still feels clean and like baby soft, it's not gonna hold any curl, and you're wasting your time. The hairspray cannot hold it at the end. So then you would do another layer of this and blow dry it in. And then if you're working backstage, Gary will come by and touch it, and he'll be like, you still need more. And then you do another layer of Boost Spray and blow dry it in. Once you can kind of feel the texture of the hair change, then it's prepped and ready to go for the curling iron. So if you do that and then you spray it at the end, I guarantee the curls are not gonna fall. So I hope that fixed that problem.
Next problem would be, my hair is so frizzy, what can I use to eliminate the frizz?
Okay, so that is a common problem, whether it's the moisture in the air or you just have curly textured hair and it's always, frizzing. So whether your hair is curly or straight and you just want to manage frizz, I love the Reunite Silky Smooth system. So this is a 3-part system. And I swear after you get done using it, it feels almost like they got a keratin treatment done or a Brazilian blowout on their hair. So it's a shampoo, a conditioner, and then a spray. So this is gonna help to lock in the moisture of the hair, the moisture in the hair, and it almost puts like a coating on the hair so that it locks out all the stuff that's going to make the hair frizz. This is also great for stylists to use after a color service because it's going to lock in the color that you just put on and help to seal it in. So like I said, shampoo, conditioner, then you're going to spray this roots to end on the hair and then heat it up with the blow dryer or the flat iron. So it's not just for someone who wants straight hair. You can curl it with a curling iron afterwards. And it's really gonna seal in that moisture and lock out the frizz, and it lasts for days. My clients love this. So that's what I would do if someone has a frizzy hair problem. What's next?
Well, for me personally, the underneath of my extensions are always tangling.
Do you want to come show everybody that problem?
What can I do to get the tangles out of my extensions, Allison?
Okay, so he said his extensions are tangly all the time. No, but really, when it's hot outside, extensions really seem to like mat up. And we know you can use dry shampoo on the top so that you're not having to wash all the hair and dry all the hair all the time. But it is a common problem that extensions tend to tangle, especially on the underneath side. And also extensions, when not treated properly, don't last as long. So you've spent all this money on this hair, you want to get the most out of it. So you don't want to be like combing out a bunch of tangles all the time because that's just going to cause shedding on your hair. So my go-to product is the U Dry Fresh. This is completely weightless. It's a dry conditioner. You can spray it multiple times or just once throughout the day. And I would put it on like after freshly washed hair and then every day after that. And you just kind of comb it through or run your fingers through it, and it's not going to tangle up as much because it's going to add moisture to the hair, but like a dry moisture, so you're not going to feel like you have oily, greasy hair. It smells really good. It's going to help make your extensions last a lot longer, I swear, and you're not going to run into that whole tangling issue underneath. So that's the U Dry Fresh.
Nice. I used the wrong product on my hair and now it's stuck. Is there any product that can remove it?
So this is a common problem too. Well, hopefully not that common, but what I run into, especially at weddings and such, or even at the salon, like, okay, you've just cut someone's bangs, right? And you're about to like just spray them into place and you accidentally grab the Session Max, which as we know, if you see that black lid, that means like super strong hold, like you're not going to mess with it and you're going to feel this on the hair, which is great in some situations, but I wouldn't really say that bangs is the perfect situation to have Session Max spray on. You're just going to have this really intense layer of hairspray on their face basically. So oops, you grabbed the wrong thing, you sprayed it on the hair and now her bangs are like this. What do? So everyone knows that the glossing spray is amazing. It's going to add shine to the hair. It has a lot of benefits, but a lot of people don't know that it also is great for removing product. So whether you just made that mistake and you sprayed the Session Max spray on their fringe, you can just put a small layer of this on top of it and comb it through, and I promise it'll break down the product and you won't have greasy bangs. They'll look beautiful. You just won't have that stick. So also when we're at, backstage, we have to change looks a lot. So if someone has to go from a slick back or we're removing product, we can spray some of this on and then comb it through, and it does help to remove the product. So if you get yourself in a sticky situation, this is the product you can use to remove whatever you have on the hair. So that's good to know.
Great tip. What do I do about my braids? They always fall out. How can I make them stay?
So messy braids, nobody wants like the tight, perfect braids, and most of us have layers or some kind of texture in our hair. So when we're braiding, it's typical to have like some of the loose ends come out. So you want it to look messy, but you don't want it to fall apart. So in some situations, it just can't be avoided. And in that situation, you'd probably use a little clear elastic. So you could do like a topsy turn braid that would hold in the loose hairs, give it like more of a base. But if you're just at home or, going out to the beach or something and you want this pretty, like a messy braid under a hat or a big, braid down the side and you're having trouble with it staying, you can go ahead and use the expanded dust. So this product is really going to help hold the hair together. So what I would do is braid the braid tight and then sprinkle this on top of the braid. And then when you pancake it out, you're going to be rubbing the product into the hair. It's going to have all the hair stick together, and that braid is going to last you longer. Definitely has a product feel on the hair, but in a braid, you know, that's okay. And that's just gonna really give it that grit so that it'll hold throughout the day. And then, you know, you could rebraid it or whatever if you need to, but I promise you won't need to, because this is gonna hold it all together. One tip about this product is to make sure you shake it up before you use it, because the particles can, you know, settle all the way to the bottom, and then you're not getting the most out of the product. So little goes a long way. I guess that would be another tip too. This, if you're buying a product and it's a small package, that's usually like a good indicator that you're not supposed to use a lot. So in this case, it's a tiny bottle. It really feels empty. You would just shake it up. You can like puff it and it'll come out. But in my experience, it's easier just to do it like you would do like a salt shaker. Because if you shake it up, you'll be really good. You know, it comes out like fine little particles, but there's sometimes where you could squeeze just a little bit too much, and then you're gonna have to grab your smooth glossing spray to remove it, because you just put way too much on the hair. So just a simple like tap, 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 it'll go all over the braid, and then you can pancake it out. So that's what I would use.
Got a question from one of our viewers. What if the client has very long hair and all one length, but wants tons of long-lasting volume? What do you suggest?
Okay, so I definitely would go back to the prep. So the expand volume on wet hair and the boost to spray, that's gonna create lots of volume at the root. Obviously the hair's really heavy, so you're only gonna get, you know, so much out of it. There is the option to use Elevate Mousse all over the hair. That will make extreme volume from root to end. The only thing is, if you do that when you're blow drying it, it can like have a little, it doesn't just slide through. So you'll feel a little tugging when you're blow drying. But in my opinion, that makes the biggest, you know, impact on the volume of the hair. So definitely prepping with that. And then I always go in with like Texturizer or something like that, and you just hold the hair out and spray it in really good, and that's gonna give you massive volume. So also whatever technique you're using to curl the hair, I would alternate directions of the curl so that the hair doesn't all wind together. Hope that answered that question.
Great tips. Okay, what about my blonde turning yellow all the time? How do I fix that?
So that's a common problem with blondes. And there's a whole list of things that I could say that you could do to prevent that. You want to make sure you have a water filter at home so that the water from the pipes isn't like changing the color of your hair. If you have extensions, you definitely want to stay away from sunscreens and things that are going to touch the hair and then, you know, make it change colors. But as far as Unite goes, we have the blonde detoning. So typically for my blondes, I recommend once a week with this, or as needed if their hair is yellowing. This will make you feel like you just got your hair colored, really. So the packaging and the directions say 60 seconds, no more than 60 seconds. So I would stand by that. I have never experienced this turning anyone's hair purple. Where other brands that I've used, I've experienced that, where I have to like give them a warning, like, okay, you can use this, but just be really careful because it might make your hair too ashy. The only time you want to be a little bit careful is with white extensions. Sometimes it can give it like a dull look if you leave it on too long. So if you have extensions, what I do is suggest starting at the top and then just let the purple water run over the ends so that you're not just like putting it directly on the extensions. But again, I've never had experienced this turning anybody's hair anything but beautiful. So that is the Blonda shampoo. And then if you want to get some of the yellow out of your hair and you also want to make it feel like silk, then this is the mask for you. Same thing, this comes out, I almost don't even want to touch it. Oh, it's locked, so I can't. It comes out very, very, very dark purple, just like the shampoo. But again, I have never experienced this turning anyone's hair blue or purple. So, but what I have experienced is it tones the yellow out and it makes it feel so soft, like crazy soft, and it smells really good. So another tip for that is if it's a purple bottle, that means it's toning. Unite also has blonding shampoo that kind of goes in this line, but they are not purple, so they don't tone. So if the outside bottle is purple, that tones. If it doesn't, if it's not purple, then it's not going to tone the hair. So a lot of my clients have the whole line. So it's like the blonding shampoo, conditioner, and then the toning for like once a week. So that's what I would do if my blonde was turning yellow. Did I solve all the problems of the world?
Great tips. Yes, you did.
Okay, perfect. So again, if anybody has any questions about how to use a product or a problem that they're having in the salon, I'm happy to help. You can send me a message. You can comment right here on this video. And then our next live is very exciting. It's going to be Trends from Miami Swim Week. So Gary Baker is going to be here to tell you guys all about all the happenings backstage at Swim Week and what trends he saw. And I actually know nothing, so I can't wait to hear all the stories myself. So that's going to be on Monday, June, is that 24th? At 10 a.m. So tune in then and check out more videos on Unite TV. And I hope everyone has a great week.
That was a great ender, but we do have one more question.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, I can't say that. Sorry. It's live. You get the real me.
That's all right. I've done worse. What would you suggest to help over-processed hair?
Over-processed hair. Okay, so let's see. I like the Reunite line that doesn't... What? Can you grab me a bottle? I'm going to mess this up.
Yeah.
Just the regular Reunite.
The treatment too, or just the shampoo?
Yeah, all three of them, please. There's so many ways that you could tackle over processed hair, but the thing is that you just don't want to make anything that's going to be super heavy on the hair. So the Reunite is my favorite. It smells like you've visited the spa. I swear, if you just buy if your client buys the system and uses it till the bottles are gone, the hair is going to be totally repaired. Thank you. So this is the products. It's the Reunite shampoo, the Reunite conditioner, and then it also comes with a mask. Like I said, it does not weigh the hair down, and it smells like a spa. So you feel like you just got like a luxury product. And it, just like it says, it repairs and resets the hair. So in my experience, by the time these bottles are gone, the client's hair is no longer feeling over-processed. So this for sure would be my go-to for that. Hope that answered that.
Great.
I'm
Cool.
not doing the ending again.
The live again will be with Gary Monday 24th, that's 10 a.m. and it's all about Miami Swim Week this past season. So.
Perfect. Okay, I hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you later.